In the ever-busy city of Lagos, there lived a young woman named Amara, but everyone called her Amara. She was 23, slim, light-skinned, and cheekbones so sharp that makeup artists loved to work on her face for free, just so they could post her pictures on Instagram. Amara loved the good life. No, she worshipped it. She wanted designer bags, shoes that sparkled, wigs that flowed like rivers of Brazilian silk, and vacations in Dubai where the desert met the sky. To her, life was too short to be ordinary. But Amara wasn't born into wealth. She grew up in the rural area in a cramped 2-room apartment with her mother and 3 younger siblings. Her father passed away when she was 12 years old, and since then, life had been survival. Her mother sold akara by the roadside, sweating under the Lagos sun, while Amara promised herself she would never end up like that. She had brains, yes, and even got admission into the University of Lagos. But halfway through her course, she began to notice something. Brains didn't buy Gucci. Brains didn't pay for spa appointments or rent in Lekki. Brains didn't get you invited to VIP tables where the champagne flowed endlessly. What did? Men, rich men. And so, like many girls she secretly admired online, Amara slipped into the sugar baby lifestyle. Not with shame, no. She told herself it was just a transaction. Men wanted beauty. She wanted comfort. Life was give and take, but she was picky. She wasn't about to mess with married men whose wives could show up and pour acid on her face. She wanted a clean arrangement, rich, discreet, safe. And that was how she met Chief Oladipo Adewale. Amara first heard of Chief Oladipo at a lounge in Victoria Island. She wasn't even supposed to be there that night. Her friend Kemi had dragged her out, insisting that they needed to change environments. Amara, stop forming. Let's go out and chop life, Kemi had said, adjusting her long lashes as they entered the lounge that screamed of luxury. Chief Oladipo sat in a corner, surrounded by 2 quiet men in suits. Unlike the noisy politicians Amara usually saw, he had a calm presence. His agbada was pure white, spotless, with embroidery that glistened while the light hit it. His beard was neatly trimmed, and though his hair was going grey, there was something commanding about him. Kemi whispered, "That is Chief Oladipo Adewale. His money himself. He owns oil blocks, real estate, and people say he has connections even in government." Amara had heard the name before. It floated around social circles like perfume, always associated with money, power, and mystery. Some said he was generous to women, others said he was dangerous, but everyone agreed on one thing: Chief was not a man you played with. What struck Amara wasn't his wealth that she expected. It was the way his eyes seemed to rest on her, calmly, as though he saw something beyond the wig, the makeup, and the glittering dress. She looked away, suddenly shy, which was unusual for her. Minutes later, a waiter came over. "Madam, Oga say may I give you this thing." He gave her a small card with just a phone number on it. Kemi squealed, "Ah, Amara, Chief has noticed you. Don't dull yourself." Amara felt her heart race. She wasn't new to this kind of game, but something about Chief's quiet confidence unsettled her. Still, she saved the number. That night, when she got home, she couldn't resist texting. "Good evening, sir. This is Amara. You gave me your card." The reply came instantly. "Yes, my dear. I have been expecting your message. Can we meet tomorrow?" No long talk, no games, direct. The next day, Chief sent a black SUV to pick her up. They drove to his mansion in Banana Island, a fortress of marble and glass. Chief welcomed her warmly. He offered her food, wine, anything she wanted. They sat in his living room, and Amara couldn't help staring at the chandeliers, the gold accents, the massive artwork on the walls. Then came the surprise. "My dear," Chief said, sipping his wine slowly, "I like you. You are beautiful, and there's something rare about you. I want to take care of you." Amara waited, bracing herself for the usual line men dropped after such promises, but it never came. "I don't want anything from you," Chief continued, his voice calm. "No sex, no physical demands, just your company. That is enough for me." Amara blinked. She almost laughed. "Excuse me, sir. You don't want anything?" Chief smiled faintly. "Nothing. I will provide for you. Money, cars, clothes, trips, whatever you need. But I ask for no sugar. Only that you remain close to me. Visit when I request and trust me." It was the strangest arrangement Amara had ever heard of. Every sugar baby she knew had to work for the life. Late night calls, secret hotel meetings, exhausting performances. But this man, he was offering her everything with no strings attached. Too good to be true. Still, Amara agreed. Who wouldn't? That night, she went home with a brand new iPhone and a bundle of cash. Her life was about to change forever. In the weeks that followed, Amara's life transformed in ways she had only dreamed of. Chief wasn't joking. Within days, he rented her a 2-bedroom apartment in Lekki Phase 1, fully furnished with Italian leather couches, a giant flat-screen TV, and even a walk-in closet that made her scream with joy the first time she saw it. He handed her the keys casually, like it was nothing. "It's yours, my dear. Stock it as you like." And stock it she did. Designer handbags, Louboutin heels, human hair wigs that cost more than her mother's annual income. Everything she ever wanted suddenly became reality. Chief gave her a black credit card with no limits for emergencies, he had said. But to Amara, everyday life was an emergency. She flew to Dubai with her friends for shopping sprees, posted pictures and filled her Instagram stories with champagne bottles, poolside breakfasts, and mirror selfies in 5-star hotels. Her followers doubled, then tripled. Men flooded her DMs, offering her money just for attention, but she ignored them all. Why downgrade when she had a man who gave her everything and demanded nothing? Yet, that was the problem, the absence of demands. At first, it was a blessing. No midnight calls to come over, no awkward conversations about sex, no risk of him snapping pictures for blackmail. He never even tried to touch her, beyond a polite hug now and then. But as weeks turned into months, Amara began to wonder, why me? She had friends prettier than her, curvier than her, more experienced than her, and yet Chief picked her, showered her with wealth, and wanted absolutely nothing in return. One night, lying on her king-size bed with silk sheets, Amara stared at the ceiling, restless. She called Kemi. "Kemi, this man is not normal, oh." Kemi laughed on the other end. And why? He's feeding you, housing you, spoiling you, and you are complaining. God, where can I find my own chief? Amara frowned. But think about it. Every other man I know in this lifestyle, they want sex, they want control. Chief doesn't. He just watches me sometimes. And when I leave, I feel drained. Kemi snorted. "You are overthinking. Maybe he's impotent, or maybe he just likes you for your company. Enjoy, I beg." But Amara couldn't shake the feeling off. She remembered something. Anytime she left Chief's house, she felt unusually tired, like her energy had been sucked out of her. Sometimes she would sleep for 12 hours straight. And then there were the gifts. One day, he handed her a necklace with a black stone pendant. "Wear this always," he said, his voice unusually firm. She smiled, admiring it in the mirror. "It's beautiful. Is it diamonds?" Chief's eyes lingered on her reflection. "It's protection. Don't ever take it off." His tone sent a shiver down her spine. From then on, small strange things began happening. Lights flickered when she entered his mansion. Mirrors seemed to ripple when she walked past. and sometimes Chief would excuse himself into a locked room, chanting softly in a language she didn't recognize. Amara told herself she was imagining things, but deep down, a seed of fear had been sown. This life was sweet, yes, but something beneath it was bitter, something she couldn't yet see. It was a rainy Thursday evening when Amara's suspicion began to solidify. She had gone to Chief's mansion to pick up a new car he promised her. He wasn't home, but the gatesman, Babatunde, let her in. "Madam, Oga said make you wait for him inside," Babatunde said, bowing slightly. Amara nodded and entered. She had been here many times, but that evening felt different. The rain tapped against the glass walls. The house smelled faintly of incense, and the silence pressed against her ears. She walked towards the living room, but paused when she noticed a door she had never seen before. It was tucked away at the far end of the hallway, carved with strange markings. Normally it stayed locked, but tonight it stood ajar. Curiosity tugged at her. She glanced back. The house was empty. Slowly, she walked towards the door. Inside was a dimly lit room, filled with shelves of books, candles, and strange artifacts. Skulls, both animal and human, lined the corners. In the center of the room was a table covered in red cloth, with objects arranged in a circle. Feathers, beads, cowries, and a large black bowl filled with thick, dark liquid. Amara's stomach clenched. This was no ordinary room. It looked like a shrine. She took a step back, heart racing, ready to leave, but something caught her eye. On the table by the side lay several photographs. Her photographs. Images of her sleeping, images of her laughing, images of her in the apartment he rented for her, even pictures she never remembered posing for, like one of her sitting alone in her bedroom, head loose, staring at her phone. Her chest tightened. What the hell? She reached for one of the pictures, but before her fingers touched it, a voice spoke behind her. "You shouldn't be here." Amara spun around. Chief stood at the doorway, his eyes dark, his kaftan soaked from the rain. For the first time since she met him, he didn't smile. I was looking for the bathroom," she stammered, her voice trembling. Chief stepped inside, shutting the door behind him. "The bathroom is upstairs, not here." His presence filled the room like a storm. Amara clutched her handbags tightly, her palms sweaty. She expected him to explode, to shout, but instead, his expression softened, almost tender. "My dear Amara, there are things about me you cannot understand yet. That room is sacred. What you saw there is nothing for you to fear." His lips quivered. "But why the pictures? Why this?" "Because you are special. You carry something rare within you, and I must protect it," he said. Amara's heart hammered in her chest. Protect it or use it, she thought to herself. That night, she couldn't sleep. She lay awake in her apartment, clutching the pendant, feeling its weight against her chest. She remembered how tired she always felt after seeing him. A week later, Chief invited Amara to accompany him on a business trip to Ibadan. He rarely asked her to travel with him, so she agreed, eager to distract herself from the suspicion growing in her chest. She was driven by his driver. They arrived at a sprawling estate on the outskirts of Ibadan, larger than his Banana Island mansion, with acres of land and ancient trees surrounding it. Inside, the air smelled of old wood and burning herbs. That night after dinner, Amara pretended to be tired and excused herself to her room. But her curiosity wouldn't let her rest. Something about this house felt heavier, darker. At midnight, she slipped out quietly, her bare feet silent on the tiled floor. She followed the faint sound of chanting, low, rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat. The sound led her to a large hall. The door was slightly opened. She peeked inside, and her breath caught. Dozens of candles lit the room. Men in white robes stood in a circle, chanting in unison. At the center was Chief, kneeling with her pictures lying on the ground before him. Amara's hand flew to her mouth to stop a scream. Chief's voice booming over the chants. By the essence she carries, by the fire in her soul, I draw from her what I need. Her beauty, her youth, her light, it is mine to harness. The pendant she wore glowed brightly. Amara felt a sudden sharp pull in her chest. She staggered back, gasping. The pendant grew hot, burning. She ripped it off and hauled it away. Instantly the pull stopped. So this was it. This was why he never touched her. What he wanted was far worse than her body. Chief wasn't feeding on her flesh, he was feeding on her essence, her life force, her youth, her aura. That was why he always felt drained after seeing him. That was why he demanded no sugar. Terrified, Amara turned and ran. But as she fled down the corridor, Chief's voice echoed behind her. You cannot run from me, Amara. The lights flickered. The walls seemed to close in. Amara bolted away. She grabbed her car keys and phone on the table, ran to the car and drove off. She drove back to Lagos that night with fear all over her. She went straight to Kemi's house and narrated everything to her. Kemi, this man is not normal. He's doing something to me, using me. Kemi consoled her and asked her to get some rest. But she couldn't sleep. She kept tossing and turning all night. Chief tried calling her all night, but she didn't take his calls. Early the next morning, she went to her grandmother's house and poured everything out to her. The mansion, the shrine, the pendants, the chanting, the photographs, as she was scared and desperate for help. Mama Oge, her grandmother, listened silently, her wrinkled face grim. When Amara finished, she let out a long, heavy sigh. My child, I prayed this curse would not follow you, but it seems fate is stubborn. Amara frowned. What curse, Mama? Her grandmother's eyes watered. Your great-grandmother was a priestess in our village. She carried a rare gift, a powerful life force that made her beautiful, radiant, and strong even in old age. Men of wealth and power sought her, but she refused them. When she died, that gift passed down the bloodline to me, to your mother, and now to you. Amara's mouth went dry. So what Chief is taking? Mama Oge nodded. It is your essence, my child. That is what keeps you glowing, makes people drawn to you, makes your spirit valuable to men like him. He is not just a rich man, he is a collector. He feeds on what you carry to preserve his wealth and power. Her grandmother said, Amara, you must cut him off, block every tie, destroy the gift he gave you. Do not step foot in his house again. Immediately she left her grandmother's house. She went straight to her house and packed the essentials into her bag. Cash, passports, a few clothes, and left her Lekki apartment that same night. She couldn't risk staying another night in a place Chief had provided. She went back to Kemi's flat in Yaba. The next day, Amara smashed the credit card, changed her number, deleted her Instagram, and went off-grid. For the first time in months, she felt a flicker of control, but it didn't last. One evening while hiding at Kemi's, she woke up to find the air heavy, thick. The room was dark, though the bulb still glowed. Her body froze, paralyzed. In the corner of the room, a shadow stirred and a voice began to speak. Amara, you think you can reject me after all I have given you? Do you not know what it cost me to make you mine? Amara wanted to scream, but her voice was trapped in her throat. Every gift was a binding. You are already tied to me. Run if you wish, hide if you wish. The river cannot escape the ocean." Suddenly, the pendant she had thrown away appeared on the floor beside her bed, glowing faintly. The voice continued, "Wear it again, and the fear will end. Fight me, and you will suffer." Amara gasped for air. Kemi rushed in panic. "What happened? I heard you screaming." Amara pointed at the pendant on the floor. Her hands shook uncontrollably. "He's not letting me go. He's everywhere, even here." Kemi backed away, horrified. "This thing is beyond us, so we need help, real help." Amara immediately called her grandmother, and she advised her on what to do. That was how Amara found herself traveling back to her village in Anambra, to the shrine of a powerful dibia her grandmother knew. The older man listened as Amara recounted everything, nodding gravely. "You are bound to him through the gifts and rituals, but you are also your mother's daughter, your grandmother's blood. The same essence that attracts him can also repel him if you are willing to pay the price." "What price?" Amara asked. The Dibia's eyes hardened. "To break his hold, you must sacrifice what he covets most. Your glow, your essence, the beauty he feeds on. Once you give it up, he cannot touch you. But you will no longer be the Amara you know." The words hit her like a hammer. Her glow, her youth, her radiance was everything she had built her identity around. Without it, who was she? But the alternative was worse, living forever as Chief's vessel. Amara closed her eyes, tears falling. "Do it." The ritual lasted hours. Smoke filled the shrine. Chants rose like waves, and Amara felt heat rush through her body, as though her very soul was being wrung dry. She screamed until her throat was raw, then silence. When she opened her eyes, she felt empty, lightheaded. She staggered to the water bowl the dibia placed before her and stared at her reflection. Her face was still hers, but duller. Her skin no longer glowed. Her eyes no longer sparkled. Her beauty seemed ordinary. Amara collapsed, weeping. "It is done," the dibia said. "He cannot claim you now." And indeed, Chief never appeared again. But the life Amara had built crumbled overnight. Friends stopped calling. Men no longer stared when she walked past. Her Instagram followers dwindled. Even Kemi, though loyal, pitied her silently. The luxury was gone, and so was the radiance that once defined her. One evening, as she sat outside her grandmother's house, watching children play in the dusty streets, Mama Oge placed a hand on her shoulder. "You are alive, my child. That is the greatest wealth. Beauty fades, flashy life ends, but life itself, you still have it." Amara nodded slowly, her heart heavy. For the first time, she truly understood. Nothing in this world is free. Chief had demanded no sugar because what he wanted was far sweeter, her very soul. And in escaping him, she had paid the highest price of all.